Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Today, we're going to be doing our very first football-oriented podcast, real-life football podcast. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the sport in real life. I do follow a lot of teams in real life. So, having these types of discussions with you guys in regards to football-related things will be a really fun concept. Now, obviously, when I talk about specific things, like, because people have watched my videos in the past in regards to FIFA mechanics of what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, hot box, what's not a hot box. FIFA is a video game, okay, and real life football is real life football. If a deflection happens in real life football, you take what you can get. In FIFA, in a video game concept wise, it's bullshit. But in real life football, that's just the way it goes. You can't just be specific, like, oh, he's in the hot box, yeah, he scores. That's not how it works, right? But that's just for the video game concept. But in regards to real life football, a lot of things to talk about today. A lot of title deciders. Bundesliga, Bayern Munich ended up winning the Bundesliga, and congratulations to them, because Borussia Dortmund themselves kind of choked it a little bit. They were ahead of Bayern Munich by a lot, because Niko Kovac recently went to Bayern Munich. I think this is his first year with Bayern Munich, and in the beginning of the year, they were kind of under, like, I guess, like, development stages, because when it's a new manager, you kind of you got to get used to what the new manager kind of likes, to get used to his play style. People are kind of impatient with that. Sometimes they want the coach to do well right away, because there was speculation of him getting fired actually in the beginning of the year because of him not getting results right out the get-go, and then he started getting results again, and that's why they obviously kept him at some point. But yeah, they came back, man. Borussia Dortmund was ahead by a lot, man. Borussia Dortmund definitely choked the year this year, as did Porto. I'm an FC Porto fan myself, but they definitely choked it as well. Jadon Sancho with 1 goal, Marco Reus with 1 goal against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and then Bayern Munich beat Frankfurt 5-1, right? So 5-1. Basically ruined Frankfurt's chances in regards to getting Europa League football. It ended up being Bayern Munich first place, Borussia Dortmund second place, Red Bull Leipzig third place, Bayern Leverkusen fourth, Borussia Mönchengladbach fifth, and then Wolfsburg sixth. And then, Frankfurt still got Europa League qualifications. They actually have three spots too. Actually makes sense. Yeah, so they got Europa League qualification, which is interesting. It's kind of funny because they made it to the semifinals, and then they're gonna have to do the qualification again. I find that very interesting. But yeah, congratulations to Bayern Munich. I've watched a few of their games. I would say maximum I've watched like 9 of their games this year. And a lot of those games, not a lot of those games, but like 3 of those games were in the beginning of the year, and they weren't very impressive. But I understood that Kovac was a new manager to Bayern Munich, so they kind of had to get used to him being the new manager. And then I guess at some point they got better, because when I watched them afterwards, they were playing very, very well, right? So congratulations to them on winning the league. Next up, we have Benfica versus FC Porto. Benfica is going to win the league. I have absolutely no doubt. Even as of right now, as I'm speaking, Benfica is beating Santa Clara 3-0. Santa Clara, congratulations to them this year, by the way, because I'm a Sorian myself, and they've definitely done a fantastic job this year. I think they're actually going to be in 10th place. And 10th place is very good, guys, because they recently just got promoted to the first division. This is their first year, and they did a really good job, because usually with Santa Clara, they actually got relegated. Majority of the times that they got promoted, even back in the day when they got promoted, they would get relegated the very same year after. So they did a very good job this year. They're actually playing very good football right now, but Benfica scored a brilliant first goal. Samaras with a brilliant pass to Seferovic, and Seferovic did a very, very good finish. João Felix got a deflection, but he still had to do work to break down the defense and then score a very, very nice goal as well. And then the third goal, it was a defensive mistake from Santa Clara. Cesar didn't really clear the ball out that well. And then Rafa scored that third one. So that's just from the first half. I'm not watching the second half right now because I'm making this video, obviously. FC Porto is still tied 0-0 with Sporting. At this point, it's kind of just like a practice run for the Taça de Portugal, because this is Porto's playing against Sporting twice, because they're going to be playing against them right now for the league, which is irrelevant at this point, because there's no way that Benfica concedes more than 4 goals or more than 3 goals in the second half against Santa Clara, because even if they tie, they still win the league, right? Because of head-to-head, because they beat Porto, I think, twice this year, right? Porto choked this year as well. Even if they lost Benfica twice, they were still ahead of Benfica by a significant amount, and they tied in and just they tied a bunch of games that they shouldn't have tied, which is a part of football, right? They kind of choked it themselves. It's obviously their own fault, their own doing. So on and so forth. Manchester City actually ended up winning the FA Cup final today. Honestly, not really a surprise there. Let's see what their starting lineup was like today. Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, Riyad Mahrez, Silva, Gundogan. I wonder if Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid is going to go to Manchester City, because he would fit in really, really nicely in that team. David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Zinchenko, Laporte, Company, Walker, and Ederson as the goalkeeper. They just have a fantastic team. Like, when you look at that side, it's just disgusting. Like, and you look at their bench: Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones, Danilo, Muric, I think, is a substitute goalie, Sergio Aguero, Leroy Sané, and Nicolas Otamendi. He doesn't even have to put Nicolas Otamendi, because he could put John Stones as his other center back. And then he has a replacement for the CDM area, the left back area, and right back area with Danilo. Danilo is a squad player. That's why they bought him. He's just there just in case he will get injured and stuff, or especially if Kyle Walker gets injured, he can just put Danilo in. Watford started off with Troy Deeney, Capoue, Pereira, Delafeu, Decor, Hughes, Holebas, Cathcart, Mariappa, Femenia, and Gomez. Honestly, Watford actually has a pretty solid team. Capoue played as a Cameron today. Interesting. Manchester City for me is probably the best Premier League team of all time. I know that they're like. When you compare them to teams in the past, 98 Manchester United, the invincible Arsenal era, the era of Manchester United having like Carlos Tevez, Wayne Rooney, Ronaldo, Paul Scholes, and all those guys in the same team. Like, I don't know, man. Manchester City's team from starting 11 to subs, because like back in the day, with subs on Manchester United's bench, like they had some good subs, but it wasn't like every single player was capable of performing at a top class quality. And then just this Manchester City team is just ridiculous. And obviously, they definitely got the money behind it. I wonder if they're actually going to get taken out of the Champions League, which they probably won't, most likely, right? Due to financial fair play regulations being broken, because I know that they're under investigation in regards to that right now, but I feel like they're going to come out fine. It's going to be the same thing as PSG buying Neymar and Mbappe, and then they're going to be fine. It's just the way that football works nowadays. But a question for you guys in regards to Manchester City: do you guys think Manchester City's team currently is the best Premier League team of all time? Because in all honesty, I understand that they haven't won the Champions League and they didn't go far in the Champions League this year. Spurs actually did a really good job this year, to be fair, but in a general sense, man, I can't really think of a team that's good from starting 11 to subs like Manchester City squad. I think their team is just ridiculously good. I think Pep Guardiola, especially being the manager, is helpful as well. I know that people say that, they obviously have money behind it, but like they still play attractive football. They still play really, really good football. So for me personally, I give them credit for at least performing very well and entertaining a football audience. Pep's play style has always been a very nice play style. It's never really been that terrible at all. So I can't really fault him for that. Because, hey man, if you go to a team and the club owners want to give you the money so that you can, buy as many players as you want, be able to spend, like, I think he's bought like Danilo for like 40 million as a fullback, and he doesn't even play, right? Like, it just goes to show how much money that they have, but they still play attractive football. They still deserve it. I'm a Liverpool. I like Liverpool myself. I'm an FC Porto and Liverpool guy, right? And then the Toronto teams and whatever. But like, the thing about Liverpool, right, is that even if they don't have that money like Manchester City, right, it's not an excuse, because they were ahead of Manchester City by a good amount this year, and they themselves choked it as well, right? Especially that tie against Leicester City later on in the stages of the year, You have a clutch player like Vincent Kompany scoring a banging long shot, and then you have like a really, really poor performance against Leicester City in that second game where nothing happened. The whole team was just stagnant, right? So it is what it is. It's part of football, right? Like, for me, FC Porto and Liverpool not winning the league in the last day, not really a fun thing, but again, it's part of the sport. It's kind of just the way you grow with the sport. In regards to news for football. Ziyech is actually not going to be returning to Ajax next year. He's actually going to be transferred. And I thought Ziyech was like 28, 29 years old. So I was like, oh, I wonder who's going to pick him up at 28, 29 years old. But he's actually 26 years old. So he's actually in a very, very good primed age to transfer to a very good team, because he's obviously a very, very good player. So I am wondering where he will end up next year. The summer transfer window next year is going to be very good. A lot of teams and considerations to take into consideration. I think Barcelona is going to end up buying Griezmann by the end of all of this. I think Coutinho or Dembele could potentially leave. Maybe. I'm not really sure. De Jong coming into Barcelona. Maybe Barcelona buying De Ligt as well. So De Ligt and Piqué in a center-back pairing would be very, very good. And then, let's see. Real Madrid has Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale, I think most likely he'll be transferred, especially if Eden Hazard joins the squad. Pogba, Pogba's not. I'm not going to say Pogba's a replacement for Gareth Bale, because it's completely different positions. But I think that if Eden Hazard joins the team, it'll spell an end for Gareth Bale at Real Madrid. Who else is there? Jovic apparently has been confirmed by Sky Sports that he's going to Real Madrid for 60 million. Very, very good purchase by Real Madrid, investing for the future, because Karim Benzema is obviously still a very good player, but in the future they're going to need a player in the striker position that's going to be good. And Jovic for 60 million, to be honest with you guys, is a very good price, because especially in the market nowadays, because the market nowadays, strikers are very, very expensive. I wonder if Icardi's going to be transferred next year, but we'll get to that in a bit. Real Madrid bought Eder Militão, so Eder Militão could play right back or center back, so a good player to buy in that position too. They're probably going to get Pogba as well. So I could see the midfield trio being Luka Modric, Pogba, and Casemiro. If they end up buying Eriksen too, because I don't know how much money Real Madrid's going to spend this year. God knows who they're going to actually buy, right? If they actually end up spending the money on Eriksen and then Luka Modric leaves the team, then it'll be Pogba, Luka Modric, and Casemiro. The wingers in Real Madrid, Vinicius has returned from injury. Eden Hazard would join the team. I'm pretty sure Eden Hazard would start on the left wing position. It would be Karim Benzema or Jovic as the two striker combo. Mariano Diaz might leave. I don't think Mariano Diaz is going to stay if Benzema and Jovic are in the team. Right wing position, I could see Vinicius Jr. being switched off to that position in the future. Asensio plays pretty well under Zidane, so I could see Asensio going in. I see Isco being transferred potentially to probably Juventus, I would say. If he went to Juventus, that would be a very good purchase by Juventus, because they're also getting rid of Allegri, so I wonder what manager they're going to get. I'm trying to think of any other player from Real Madrid that's potentially going to leave. I think Marcelo's going to stay. I think because Zidane likes Marcelo a lot. So it's going to be basically like him and Reguilon's going to be occupying that left back position. Carvajal and Eder Militão for the right back position. Sergio Ramos, Varane, and Eder Militão in the 3 center back formation, with Nacho being a rotation player. I think Brahim Diaz will go out on loan for sure, especially if they buy Eden Hazard. I don't think Brahim Diaz is going to stay. And that's pretty much it. Atletico Madrid's going to get rid of Griezmann. Godin's already been transferred to Inter Milan. Saul Niguez, I can see him leaving. Theo Hernandez or Lucas Hernandez already went to Bayern Munich. He's going to go to Bayern Munich by the end of the year. So I wonder, they're getting a lot of money. So Atletico Madrid's going to definitely splash out that cash elsewhere as well. And they're probably going to buy some very good players. So watch out for that. Because I can see Saul Niguez leaving. I think Coke and stuff will all stay. Diego Costa's still going to be there. Who else is there? Yeah, I don't think anybody else would leave, like Rodri and stuff. I think they're going to stay as well. So that's in regards to the Liga Santander. The Premier League, a bunch of stuff's going to happen. I think Manchester United is going to clear out. Herrera already confirmed that he's not going to stay in Manchester United. I'm pretty sure he's going to go to PSG. Probably get a really good, huge, significant wage gap there, because PSG needs some good midfielders, and Herrera is a good midfielder, so I think it would be a very good purchase by them for them to make if they end up going through with that. Neymar and Mbappe, I'm pretty sure they're going to stay in PSG. Cavani, I think he'll get, potentially I feel like he'll get transferred, and they'll buy another striker. But yeah, like I was saying about the Premier League, Manchester United's probably going to get rid of Pogba, probably going to get rid of Lukaku. There's been speculation that he might want to go to the Serie A, apparently. I think Inter Milan, there's like a swap deal with him and Icardi. I don't think that would happen, because I'm pretty sure if they were to swap again, amongst each other, money would have to be required for Icardi as well. But I don't think that transfer will happen. But I could see Lukaku actually going to the Serie A, and I could see Manchester United actually selling him. Rashford, they're probably going to keep. Martial, they're going to... Martial, he has some attitude problems right now with Solskjaer. So I don't know what's up with Martial right now. I don't know if he's going to stay. I don't know if he's going to leave. The back four, honestly, they need to get rid of Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, Ashley Young. Diego Dalot is a player for the future. I think he could come out really good. They might actually buy Juan Bissaka from Crystal Palace, and he's had a phenomenal year. Top two center backs in the top two right backs in the Premier League this year for sure. Center backs, Lindelof has definitely blossomed into a better player, I think. I just think he needs a better presence next to him. I think if they buy like Koulibaly or something, Manolas would be a very good purchase if they were to get him. And I think Manolas is like 30 million. 30 million wouldn't be a bad purchase for him, actually. Koulibaly, Manolas, and I think that was pretty much it. Left back, they have Luke Shaw. I guess you can debate the Luke Shaw situation. There's speculation. There's always speculation with Manchester United, right? There's speculation that Ryan Sessegnon from Fulham might go to Manchester United, and to be honest, that'd be a sick purchase because Ryan Sessegnon is a very, very good player. Midfield for them, Nemanja Matic. I could see Nemanja Matic staying. I don't think they'll replace that CDM core midfield area. It's going to be a rotation policy, I think, with him and McTominay. Paul Pogba, I think, is leaving. I don't think he's staying. Herrera's already confirmed to leave. Andreas Pereira, I don't think he's good enough for Manchester United. I think he'll probably leave as well. Who else is there in that midfield? I think Fred will stay, and believe me, I think Solskjaer is going to keep him and try to make him a better player next year. Because I think Fred definitely has a lot of potential. He's a very, very good player. He's had a rough year this year, but Manchester United in general have had a rough year, you know. So I see him keeping Fred, but I do see Manchester United buying another midfielder. They need to buy a world-class midfielder to occupy that spot for Manchester United, but it's going to be tough since they didn't get Champions League football. Who else is there? There's speculation with De Ligt, but I don't think De Ligt would go to Manchester United. Maybe. Who knows, right? I think De Ligt is more prone to go to Barcelona or Bayern Munich than he will to go to Manchester United. Their forward line, Rashford's going to stay. Martial, I don't know. Lukaku might leave. Alexis Sanchez is more than likely gone. He's definitely going to have to take a decrease in his wage bill, or his... I can't on his contract. I can't think of the word right now, or the words. He's definitely going to take a decrease in his contract if he goes to Inter Milan or Juventus, because those are the two teams that are calling for him right now. I'm not sure. There's speculation with Alexis Sanchez to Juve, but that's like the same thing as like Woodward potentially wanting Alexis Sanchez more than Mourinho wanting it, because we don't know who wanted that player more, right? Because Allegri is not the manager next year, so I don't even know why they're going into negotiations with a player that the new manager might not even want, right? So that's a whole other story by itself, but Alexis Sanchez will definitely leave. To be honest, I would be happy to see him leave, because I actually still think he might still be a very good player. You know, I think he went to Manchester United for the money. $400K a week is a lot of money, right? I think Manchester United actually offered him more than Manchester City did. So I could see Alexis Sanchez leaving for sure. They're gonna clear out that team, man. They recently gave contract extensions to Chris Smalling and Ashley Young, so I don't know what the situation is with that, but it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens there. Chelsea has a transfer ban, I think. That hasn't been fully confirmed yet, but I think they have a transfer ban, so they're probably going to have to keep some of their players that are important. God knows that they're going to keep Hudson-Odoi, because Bayern Munich are knocking on that door for Hudson-Odoi, right? I don't really know any other team that's actually knocking him for like top priority, right? Chelsea also renewed David Luiz's contract. Probably going to keep their three center backs. I don't see them buying a new center back. Left back and Xabi Alonso and Emerson. I don't think they're going to be changing that anytime soon either. Right back, I genuinely don't see Chelsea buying a new defense, even though like they've been very frail in the defense. I don't see them buying a new player. Potentially they buy Koulibaly, because Koulibaly has that relationship with Sarri, and I can see Sarri actually staying next year, to be fair. We'll see what happens. I don't know if he gets fired or not. Jorginho will stay. Conte loves Chelsea. He'll probably stay, even though Conte would be sick at a top-class team. Who Who else is there? Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley's actually had a pretty decent year this year. Eden Hazard's gone. Higuain, I don't think is going to stay. I don't think they're going to buy him fully. Higuain's he's a weird player. They need to buy someone new. They missed out on Luka Jovic because Jovic going to Real Madrid, I think, is a better option for him than going to Chelsea, right? I think maybe they buy a Cardi. I honestly don't know. Abraham's actually had a very good year at Aston Villa, so maybe they give Abraham a shot. Who knows? I don't know. I think Batshuayi was fully bought by Crystal Palace. I don't think he went out on loan there. I could check that to confirm. I think Crystal Palace did fully buy him because Batshuayi honestly has a lot of potential and he could have been very, very good. He did go out on loan to Crystal Palace, so if they have the transfer ban, I can see them keeping both Abraham and Batshuayi in the team, and you could argue whether or not those two are competent enough to be top strikers. But who knows, right? If you develop the player enough, sometimes they blossom and they become amazing players, right? Hudson-Odoi potentially could stay. Pedro's probably going to stay. Willian, I don't know what's gonna happen with Willian. Willian is a weird player. He always has speculation around him when it comes to the transfer market window. He's gonna go to Barcelona at one point, which was definitely a weird one until they bought Malcolm, which was a weird purchase by itself. So that's it in regards to Chelsea. Their goalkeeper is Kep is gonna stay there, so not really much to discuss there. Manchester City are probably going to buy more players because those guys just have money. So would not surprise me one bit if they were to buy more players. Do they need anybody specifically? I think the only specific position they truly need is the CDM area because I think he currently uses Gundogan there. But Fernandinho is a fantastic player in that core area for Manchester City. But like I said, I think they would actually go ahead and buy someone like Saul Niguez because he's very, very good at occupying that spot as well. I can't really think of anybody else that would go into that. Thiago Alcantara would be sick for Pep, but I don't think Thiago Alcantara would be that type of player in that position for him. I don't know if they're looking at anybody else actually right now. I can't really think of anybody else. Yeah. I think that's like the main area that they're going to have to buy because Fernandinho's getting older, so they're going to have to think about buying a player in that position as well. So that's it in regards to Manchester City, but they're probably going to buy more players, right? Then we have Arsenal. I don't know what's happening with Arsenal, to be honest with you. I honestly don't know. I think Leno will stay as the goalkeeper. Socrates will stay as the center back. Mustafi's gone. I don't think Mustafi's going to stay. Right backs, they have Hector Bellerin and Maitland-Niles. I think those guys are fine. Left backs, Kolasinac is a good player, but I think they need to buy another left back because I don't think Monreal will stay. Center mid area, they're losing Ramsey, so they're probably going to have to buy a new center midfielder to occupy Ramsey's spot. I don't know. I think they gave Ramsey for free to Juve, and then he's going to have like a crazy wage bill. He's going to have crazy wages at Juve. Up top, Aubameyang, Lacazette will stay. Ozil maybe might leave. You know, who knows? Who else is there in that team? Kolasinac, Ramsey, Guendouzi, and Torreira. Yeah, I don't really know what's happening with that team, man. I don't know what type of purchases they're going to make. I think Unai Emery is the type of person to develop young players and blossom them into good players. So we'll see what happens there. He didn't really spend that much money when he was at Sevilla to try to build up a team. So it took a little bit, but he still made a very good team at Sevilla when they did develop under him. So we'll see what happens there. Anything else that I can think of? Can't really think of anything else. But if there's anything else you guys want me to discuss about in regards to a football podcast, this isn't a very organized type video. It was just a fun video to make. Obviously, if I make these videos in the future, they would have to be done more professionally. They would have to be done in order. Conversation would spew out. Maybe I'll do these live on stream where the viewers ask some questions and then we answer them as we are creating a podcast type video like this. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll see you guys for the next one. If there's anything else you guys want me to discuss about, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.